Hello, my name is Alexander Markinson, and I will be presenting my RedisConf 2021 Hackathon project. The project name is RediTeam. It's a bit of a funny little Redi plus Redis combo. And what RediTeam solves essentially is the inefficiencies around internal transfers within a company. For most companies, it's quite beneficial to retain employees and allow them to internal transfer as opposed to having them leave. So this is often promoted within most companies, especially tech companies where attrition is high. And so you would think that there would be systems around finding a good team to move into, or for a manager to add hires to his team internally as opposed to looking outside the company. But from my experience at a company that I work at, and from other companies that I've worked at, and from other employees that I've talked to, this doesn't really exist outside of your workday and all that. So what this project is supposed to do is make this process a little easier, add more visibility in terms of what positions are open, give you recommendations in terms of the best possible match, and really assist with the workflow of moving into another team, both from the manager side and the associate side. So I guess I'll just go over some of the README stuff here that I put together. To start, here's you have a manager view. I'll be going through this in the demo, but it's just a little snippet. You see the manager view and associate view here. I'll be diving into that a little bit deeper later. We have user registration, login, session storage. I'll go over all this when we do the demo. And so in terms of technologies, this whole project is built on a lot of JavaScript, so Node.js with Express, ReactJS, and it's leveraging the RediSearch, RedisGraph, and just the Redis database cache system. In terms of architecture, the way it's set up is locally we have the Redis server running on through the Redis mod Docker container. I should actually make that visible there, but we have the API server running on Node, and we have the client running for ReactJS. And on the cloud, we actually have a bit of a different setup. We have the API and the client both being served by NodeJS, and this is hosted in Heroku with builds being deployed from our GitHub repo. And in terms of the database, the Redis database, we have a bit of a interesting setup here due to the limitations with the free tier of 30 megabytes. So we're using two Redis Cloud free tier instances, one for RediSearch and Redis, which I don't think you have to pick. I think you're limited to one module, and so that's why we have to do two different ones here. So this gives us one module of Redis with RediSearch and one module of RedisGraph, and combined that works pretty well. I have some logic there that decides those things. And then all of this is just documentation and API route stuff that can be useful for developers and for those running it locally. Some local instructions. And this is some fake data that I actually load in the beginning during the build. So I'll actually be able to use some of these emails for the demo, some of these accounts that are created. So let's get into it. This is the login screen here. You can register, but for the purpose of the demo, I think we'll just skip to login, just not to waste time. So we have Adrian Yu, for example, and I'm going to log in here with a password. This is all available in the docs, so you'll be able to log in too. Alrighty, so you can see here that on the left side we have the team name. You'll see a list of all the team members, their associate level, their skills, their location. You can see that for this one's manager, you yourself are the manager, Adrian Yu. So that's the one, usually the first one that will be up here. And on the right side, you'll see your recs area where you can create a new rec. You can look at your existing recs and delete them. You can go through the different applications for your recs. So you'll see that here in the job description you get the team name, the hiring manager, the description of the rec, and you can delete it, of course. So I can go ahead and create a new rec here, call it my rec 2 for, I don't know, Arlington, associate level 3. We'll give it a few programming language requirements, and this is my demo rec. So we created that. So you can see now there's 2 recs. Now I'm going to go and log in with a different user, and I can see that these recs will be available to her. So we'll go to log out. Let's log in with, let's go with, who do we have here? Let's go with this user here. And you can see that she sees all the recs available. You see this number 28 because as a manager you only see the recs available from the ones you created for your team. But Giuseppina here, she has 26, 27, and 28 available to her. And this one is in fact recommended because they match her associate level, her skills, and her location, which you can see here is JavaScript, Node.js, New York, and you can see the hiring manager here for this rec. So let's go ahead and apply. You can see that she applied for the rec here, and we can cancel it. But for the purpose of the demo, let's go back and take a look at the rec here. From the manager point of view, you can see that if we go to applications, Giuseppina applied to this rec, and we can go ahead and accept her. And look at that. So now she is on team A, and you can see that she was instantly transferred. If we go back to her profile, you can see that she now exists on team A, and obviously she still sees open recs, but that rec got deleted, and she was successfully internally transferred. Now that was a pretty easy process. It was just a submit and accept. Her current manager had no input, but for the future, I definitely want to integrate that where both the manager has to accept and Giuseppina has to accept the acceptance response from the hiring manager, and that way all the parties are involved in the decision making. And that's pretty much it. That's the features currently. There's plenty more that can be done, but I had a good time setting all this up, and I think it'll be very helpful for if this were to be deployed within a company, to be able to see recommended employees, and as a manager to see maybe recommended employees for the team. I think those would all be very beneficial things, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for tuning in.